Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully because what I'm about to say might just save you from wasting the most precious years of your life. You see, as you reach the latter stages of your existence, you are not simply aging. You are standing at the precipice of something profound, the opportunity to live with greater wisdom, with sharper clarity, and with the kind of responsibility that can redefine not just your own life, but the lives of those around you. The belief that you are too old is one of the most destructive lies you can tell yourself. The moment you accept this idea, you create a self-imposed prison, a psychological boundary that limits your potential not because of your age, but because of your mindset. The truth is, age is far less of a barrier than people make it out to be. What matters more than the number of years behind you is the way you choose to engage with the time ahead. Consider the alternative perspective. Imagine if, instead of seeing yourself as someone whose best days are over, you saw yourself as someone entering a period of life where wisdom, experience, and clarity are at their peak. You have accumulated knowledge, lessons, and skills that younger people haven't. The idea that aging is synonymous with decline is a cultural narrative, not an objective reality. There are countless examples of individuals who have achieved remarkable things in their later years. Michelangelo was designing St. Peter's Basilica well into his 80s. Nelson Mandela became president at 75. Colonel Sanders didn't even start KFC until he was in his 60s. The only difference between them and those who fade into irrelevance is mindset. Your body and mind respond to what you tell them. When you say you're too old, your body listens. You start moving less, you stop challenging yourself, and before you know it, you actually become what you feared: frail, inactive, and detached. The opposite is also true. When you act as though you are capable, you begin to reinforce that belief through action. Physical movement keeps the body strong, learning keeps the mind sharp, and social engagement keeps the spirit alive. Think about how many people have given up on trying new things simply because they have convinced themselves they are past the point of growth. They resign themselves to stagnation, assuming that learning new skills, engaging in meaningful work, or taking on new challenges is only for the young. But growth never has an expiration date. Every day you wake up is a day in which you have the opportunity to improve, to contribute, and to shape the world around you. You are not too old. You are exactly as capable as you allow yourself to be. The key is to stop telling yourself otherwise and start acting in a way that proves it. The people you surround yourself with and the conversations you engage in shape your reality more than you might think. Negativity is not just an emotional state, it's a force that influences your mind, your health, and even the way you experience time itself. Many people, as they age, fall into patterns of negative thinking, focusing on what they have lost rather than what they still have. They talk endlessly about their ailments, their frustrations with the younger generation, and their dissatisfaction with how the world has changed. While some of these concerns may be valid, dwelling on them does not lead to a better life, it only makes things worse. When you constantly engage in negative conversations, you reinforce a worldview that saps your energy and motivation. The brain is wired to adapt to the environment you create for it. If you flood it with complaints, worries, and resentments, it begins to see those things as the dominant reality. This affects not only your emotions, but also your actions. If you believe that everything is getting worse, that you have no purpose, and that your best years are behind you, you start behaving as if that's true. You withdraw from social activity, stop challenging yourself, and settle into a state of passive decline. Negativity is also contagious. When you spend time with people who constantly complain, it's easy to fall into the same patterns. Misery loves company, but what it really loves is more misery. It's a cycle that feeds itself, keeping you locked in a state of frustration and helplessness. Breaking free from this requires a conscious effort to shift your focus. Instead of engaging in discussions that drain your spirit, seek out people who inspire and challenge you. Spend time with those who are still curious, still growing, still excited about life. Engage in conversations that bring out ideas, possibilities, and solutions rather than complaints and regrets. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties that come with aging, but it does mean choosing how you respond to them. There is a difference between acknowledging challenges and becoming consumed by them. You have the ability to shape the way you experience this stage of life by choosing what and who you give your attention to. If you want to stay mentally sharp, emotionally resilient, and engaged with the world, stop surrounding yourself with negativity and start surrounding yourself with people who pull you forward instead of dragging you down. Your body is not a machine that simply wears down over time. It is a dynamic system that responds to how you treat it. Many people reach a certain age and assume that declining health is inevitable, as if their strength, mobility, and vitality are beyond their control. This is a dangerous and false belief. While aging does bring challenges, how you age is largely determined by the choices you make daily. The difference between someone who remains strong and active into their 80s and someone who becomes frail and dependent often comes down to discipline and consistency in caring for their physical health. One of the biggest mistakes people make as they grow older is reducing their movement. They stop engaging in physical activities that challenge their muscles, joints, and cardiovascular system. This decline in activity leads to muscle loss, weakened bones, poor balance, and a higher risk of injury. The truth is that movement is not just for the young, it is essential at every stage of life. Strength training, stretching, walking, and even activities like dancing or swimming can dramatically improve mobility, energy levels, and overall well-being. The human body is designed to move, and when you stop using it, you accelerate the aging process. Nutrition is another area where many people go wrong. Years of poor eating habits catch up with the body, leading to inflammation, chronic disease, and low energy. Many assume that since they have already lived a long life, changing their diet won't make much difference. This is completely false. The body is constantly regenerating, and giving it proper nutrition, whole foods, lean proteins, healthy fats, and nutrient-dense vegetables can slow the effects of aging, improve mental clarity, and even reverse some health issues. Eliminating excessive sugar, processed foods, and inflammatory ingredients can transform how you feel, often in a matter of weeks. Equally important is sleep and recovery. Many older individuals dismiss sleep issues as just a part of aging, but sleep is when the body repairs itself. Poor sleep contributes to cognitive decline, weakened immunity, and increased stress. Prioritizing a good sleep routine, managing stress, and staying hydrated can make an enormous difference in how you feel and function. Taking care of your health is not about trying to avoid aging, it is about maintaining the highest possible quality of life for as long as you can. Your body is still capable of strength, endurance, and resilience, but only if you give it what it needs. If you ignore it, you risk spending your later years in unnecessary pain and decline. The choice is yours. Many people reach a certain age and convince themselves that their time is over, that they have nothing left to contribute, and that the most meaningful parts of life are behind them. This belief is not just misguided, it is destructive. The truth is that as long as you are breathing, your story is still being written. The final chapters of your life can be filled with meaning, purpose, and growth, but only if you reject the idea that you are merely waiting for the end. One of the most dangerous things a person can do in their later years is to stop setting goals. Without a vision for the future, life becomes stagnant. This is why so many people experience depression and loneliness as they age, not because life inherently loses meaning, but because they stop engaging with it. The loss of a career, the departure of children from the home, or the passing of friends can create an empty space that many do not know how to fill. Instead of seeing this as a void, it should be viewed as an opportunity. The freedom that comes with later life is a gift, allowing for new pursuits, creative projects, mentorship, and deeper connections with others. Wisdom does not fade with age, sharpens. Life experience gives a perspective that younger generations desperately need. Yet too many older individuals assume that no one is interested in what they have to say. This is another dangerous falsehood. The knowledge you have gained over decades of living is valuable, and there are countless ways to share it through teaching, writing, volunteering, or even simply being a source of guidance for friends and family. The mistake is in assuming that because the world is changing, you no longer have a role in it. In reality, the wisdom of age is more necessary than ever. The way you approach this stage of life affects not just you, but the people around you. If you give up, if you withdraw, if you allow yourself to fade into irrelevance, that is the example you set for those who look up to you. But if you remain engaged, if you continue to learn, create, and contribute, you become proof that life does not have to shrink with age, it can expand. Every day is a new opportunity to shape the way your story ends. It is not over until you decide it is. Many people believe that once they reach a certain age, they have done enough. They have worked hard, raised families, contributed to society, and now they feel entitled to slow down and avoid anything that pushes them out of their comfort zone. While rest and relaxation are important, avoiding new challenges is one of the fastest ways to accelerate mental and physical decline. Growth does not stop just because the number of years behind you has increased. In fact, engaging with new challenges is what keeps life meaningful and fulfilling. The human brain thrives on novelty and problem solving. Learning something new, whether it is a language, a skill, an instrument, or even a new way of thinking, keeps neural pathways active and strong. Scientific research has shown that individuals who continue to challenge their minds reduce their risk of cognitive decline and dementia. The brain is like a muscle. It weakens when it is not exercised. Engaging with difficult tasks forces it to adapt, build new connections, and stay sharp. It is not intelligence that fades with age, but rather the failure to keep using it. Physical challenges are equally important. Many older people avoid difficult physical activities, fearing injury or assuming they are no longer capable. This avoidance, however, is precisely what leads to weakness. Strength training, flexibility exercises, and even activities like hiking or dancing can significantly improve mobility, balance, and overall well-being. The body does not stop adapting just because a person is older. It simply requires consistency and effort. Those who continue to move, challenge themselves, and push their limits tend to maintain independence and vitality much longer than those who avoid physical exertion. Taking on new challenges is not just about personal development, it is also about staying connected to the world. The moment a person stops engaging with change, they risk becoming disconnected from the present. Learning new technologies, exploring new cultures, or even stepping into unfamiliar social situations ensures that a person remains relevant and involved. Those who embrace new experiences continue to expand their perspectives, making their later years a time of growth rather than stagnation. The greatest mistake anyone can make is assuming they have reached a point where they no longer need to grow. The world is still full of challenges, and the best way to remain engaged with life is to keep stepping into them. Comfort is not the goal, growth is. Too many people reach a certain age and assume they no longer have influence. They believe that their time to make an impact has passed, that younger generations are too absorbed in their own world to care about what they have to say, and that their presence no longer holds weight in society. This is one of the most damaging misconceptions a person can adopt because it leads to withdrawal, silence, and an unnecessary fading from relevance. The truth is, your influence has not disappeared, it has simply changed. And how you choose to wield it in this stage of life matters more than ever. Whether you realize it or not, the people around you, your children, grandchildren, friends, community members, are watching you. They are absorbing your attitude toward aging, your resilience in the face of challenges, and your engagement with the world. If you allow yourself to shrink into the background, they will assume that this is what growing older looks like. But if you remain active, involved, and purposeful, you show them that life does not have to decline with age, it can deepen. Your actions set an example whether you intend them to or not. There is also a wealth of wisdom in your experiences that younger generations lack. The modern world moves quickly, and while technology has given people more access to information than ever before, it has not given them wisdom. Wisdom only comes from time, struggle, and reflection, things that you have in abundance. Younger people may not always ask for guidance outright, but they need it. They need to see models of patience, responsibility, and discipline. They need to hear stories of resilience and lessons learned through hardship. And they need to know that the challenges they face today have been faced before, and that solutions exist. Beyond personal relationships, there are countless ways to exert influence. Volunteering, mentoring, teaching, writing, these are all avenues where your voice and experience can shape the world around you. The mistake is in assuming that because your career may be over or because society often glorifies youth, your role is diminished. In reality, older generations have always played a crucial role in stabilizing and guiding the world forward. You are not invisible. You are not irrelevant. Your presence, your actions, and your words still matter. The only question is whether you will choose to step forward and use your influence, or whether you will allow it to slip away unnoticed.